Ever since I was little, I have been going to Disneyland, and one of my favorite rides was the Storybook Land Canal boat ride. And why I love that ride so much is as you're going through it, it takes you into various mystical towns, and that is where I began to fall in love with the bonsai tree. So today I will be discussing how to grow a bonsai tree and the steps associated with that. And I've had a lot of experience growing various trees. I've worked with bonsai trees a few times, and I've learned a lot from my dad, who's a very well-rounded gardener, and he does it a lot on his free time. So the first step in growing a bonsai tree is to obtain the seeds. The second step is to properly integrate the seeds into the soil, and the third and final step is to care and maintain for the tree. So, as stated by Andy Rutledge in 2004, with the first step of obtaining the seeds, you can get seeds from a nursery, and he learned all about this from a botanist where he studied for with 2 years because he wanted to learn from someone that was very passionate about trees, so he went and traveled a lot with this individual. And it's smart to get the seeds from either someone you know that already has a plant or from a nursery because you know that the seeds will be good. As stated by Bonsai Empire in 2017, the second place that you can get seeds or the plant from is through a specialist because they're very well educated with that plant type and species. And they can help you throughout the course of growing the plant. So if you have questions during the later steps, you could always go back to the specialist and they can help you with any of that. It also helps to get it from a specialist because if the plants are already grown beforehand, it'll be easier to put the plant into the soil and you don't have to worry about the seeds sprouting and the proper germination and things like that. So just as obtaining the seeds are very important, the integration process is also highly important as well. And as stated by the Bonsai Tree Gardener in 2015, the process of stratification is when the seeds are taken and they're put through a cold germination, which happens in the winter time. And this is so that in the springtime the seeds will be ready, because if they're being taken from their native location to this new location where you will be planting the seeds or the plant, the seeds naturally wouldn't be able to get on the time schedule of your season, so that's what stratification's for. And as stated by Brent Walson in 1997, the second process of integrating the seeds into the soil is the pruning process, because once the seeds start to grow, it's very important that you make sure that they have their proper shape and that if some of the branches look like they're off or in a certain contortion, that they should be chopped and they should be removed, because this would affect the growing of the plant, and this could also affect the roots, which are growing into the soil, because it could possibly make it so that the roots aren't even in the soil, because if the plant's top heavy it would fall over. So just as the integration process is important to care and maintain for the bonsai tree is different than other plant species, because with most plants you can, after they're grown and sprouted, you can let them sit there and grow for a long time, and you honestly don't even have to water the plants for about a week or two and they could be okay. But with the bonsai tree you have to check it regularly and make sure that the soil isn't dry or that you're not overwatering it, because any slight change could really alter the growing process of the bonsai tree and potentially kill it. So as stated by the Bonsai Boy in 2013, watering is very essential, and the Bonsai Boy sells various tools and fertilizers, so they're very well experienced in this field. And they said that with watering the bonsai tree, you have to constantly check the soil and make sure that it's not too dry. And since the bonsai trees are planted typically in such small plant pot containers, they can dry up easier because the pots can't hold as much water, so you really have to constantly watch it and make sure that you're giving it the right amount that it needs. So the second step of caring and maintaining for the bonsai tree is fertilization, and this is stated by the Carlson Bonsai in 2009. And this is also another specialist that sells various tools. And they said that with fertilization, it's smart to introduce new soil and fertilizer every 2 years. And this is important because if you're starting to grow your bonsai tree inside, and then say, for example, in 3 years you'll move and you're going to want to grow the bonsai tree in a different location, you'd want to be able to take the tree out of the pot. And by refertilizing every 2 years and mixing it around, it makes it so that the roots are able to be moved. So as I said before, the steps are to make sure you're getting healthy seeds for the first one. The second is to make sure you're properly integrating it into the soil through stratification and pruning. And the final is to care and maintain for the bonsai tree. And anyone can grow a bonsai tree because it is so small. You don't have to worry about the location that you're in, because if you are in a tight apartment but you wanted to bring some life into it, you could have a small bonsai tree. And that's also great because then if you move later on and you still have the tree, you can always bring it with you and you can take it out of the soil and grow it there. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed learning about this and that you'll go and get a tree soon.